You know it's a Doctor Who video if I'm whipping this bad boy up, don't you? I just kind of feel like I have to spread good vibes in the fandom. I mean, look, like, I've got a Jelly Babies t-shirt on, I've got a police box sign, like, it's a Doctor Who video. Be happy. At the moment, the big thing with Doctor Who at the moment is what's going to be going on in the future and who is the 14th Doctor? What's that going to be? I do genuinely feel like people have forgotten there are 2 episodes of Jodie Whittaker who left, which, no, I'm not that excited for them. But we do still have more Doctor Who this year, which is like, well, hey. So today I thought, other than David Tennant, because that rumour is odd, full video on that, but what I thought we'd do is look at what people are suggesting and see whether I think there'd be a good casting choice. Also, please note, this video is super subjective. I know people have very strong opinions about Doctor Who. This is just my opinion. Please don't crucify me. Who will be the 14th Doctor? Right, so we're on our first website, and the first picture that's come up is Danny Bloody Dyer. Now, if you didn't know, Danny is very famous in the UK circles for his, EastEnders, and just generally being a little bit of an out-there human being.
So what's happened to that twat David Comer who called it on?
Now, that's all well and good, but I've never seen any acting chops from him, and he doesn't seem like the sort of person that I want to be part of the legacy of Doctor Who, for me.
Okay, here's a good one. Michael Sheen.
I am absolutely desperate for Michael Sheen to be the next Doctor. Admittedly, this is an actor that I probably wouldn't have had on my list 5 years ago because I hadn't really seen much of him. But recently, every single thing I think I've seen Michael Sheen in, not only do I feel like he could pull off the Doctor well, he's just a fantastic actor. So I can see him really drilling in and finding his incarnation and making it really unique. I think him and RTD would work really well together. I love him in Good Omens. I think Michael Sheen would be a fantastic choice, and I am begging for that to happen.
Okay, here is a very interesting one in Jo Martin.
Now, Jo Martin, for me, is a really, really interesting case. On the one hand, I truly think in the very, criminally little we have seen of Jo Martin as a Doctor, she's been absolutely fantastic. And as the first person of colour and woman of colour to take on the role, I think it would be really important not to just give her so little screen time, just give her a nothing. But on the other hand, one of the good things about bringing RTD back is that I quite like his style of Doctor Who, and while things are going to be changed, I don't really want his era to be given, the backstory of the Timeless Child and, him having to deal with all of that. Ugh. You tell me Jo Martin's getting her own spin-off series, like a little mini-series, just giving us some form of that Doctor to cling on, fantastic. You tell me she's the 14th Doctor, personally not for me, but I would be interested to see where Russell would take it.
They're genuinely not suggesting the Lizard as the Doctor, are they?
Look, I'm sure he's a great actor, and I've enjoyed him as the Lizard. I enjoyed him as I think it's Luna Lovegood's dad. Yeah. I've enjoyed him in those roles. However, I can't see it personally. It's one of those not for me. As well, he was in Kingsman as Rasputin, the recent one, and that was actively a bad performance. So, not for me.
Here we are. Here's one of the classics in Richard Ayoade.
I think out of all of the famous examples, your Kris Marshals, your Ben Wishaws, this is the one, again, that suggested a lot, and would probably be the one I'm least offended by out of all, the classic repeats. But again, it's almost like a boring answer. It's quite a cop-outy answer, and I think he could have the energy. There are other choices that would excite me a lot more, personally.
Okay, here's one I can genuinely get behind.
Although it's not one of my, really favourite choices, I do think Phoebe Waller-Bridge has what it takes to bring the Doctor to life. Again, for the last couple of regenerations, it's been one that's, been put out there quite a bit, so it's not the most of original choices, but I do think if Phoebe Waller-Bridge was cast, I'd believe she could pull off this character. I do think she could do it.
Here we are, Kris Marshal, yeah!
Right. I have always found this choice weird. Not for any specific reason, but the only thing I've ever seen Kris Marshal in is as Colin Frissell in Love Actually.
I am Colin, god of sex.
So the idea of Colin Frissell as the Doctor, I've always found really funny. So is not for me. If it does happen and it works, fair enough. It's sometimes you've got to step back and go, it's not for me.
It's so hard to make this list because every list will suggest the same, like, 5 names.
Yep, so that was the one useful website. I kind of hoped Google would actually nice me for that. So thanks, Google. To be fair, there are some famous examples I'm surprised aren't being quite as talked about this year. Usually Ben Whishaw gets his name in there somewhere, a choice that I'm not very excited about. Tilda Swinton usually gets mentioned. That's a choice that I'll be quite happy with. I think she could do something fun and interesting with the Doctor. Hayley Atwell also gets mentioned quite a lot. That's a choice I think would be absolutely fantastic, but again, not seeming to be mentioned quite a lot this time round. But then again, we are likely to be wrong. I think it was pretty heavily rumoured that Peter Capaldi was going to be the one to take over before that got announced, but I don't think anyone was expecting Matt Smith. And as far as I can remember, Jodie Whittaker wasn't really on anyone's mouths at that point. She was one of, like, the outside bets, I believe. I don't think anyone was, like, properly thinking it was going to be her. So a complete unknown could be found, and great, brilliant, because then we don't know what to expect. We don't have any preconceived notions going in. Who do you think should be the Doctor? Let me know in the comments below. If I get enough comments, I'll make a video on it. So who do you think should be the Doctor next? Cheers. Sod off.